run from the yard after coming from Peter Shergan, for who she had decent form, but on ratings she is punching.
And Dylan Brown McMonaghan, of course, will have his first ride in the Derby tomorrow. He's looking forward to that. There's the favourite going into the stalls. Let's go up to Richard Pugh. It's all yours.
Yes, one more to go. Never ending story, the Mount of Wayne Lordan, who won this race a couple of years ago, 2019, on Iridessa for Joseph O'Brien. He's on Aiden's never ending story here. They are racing for the Yulong Pretty Polly Stakes, Group 1 over a mile and 2, and Goldana very smart away with Ross Carberry down the inside. Right up on the outside is Insinuendo, and Trevenance is now just going to try and take over the lead. So Trevenance just about with the advantage from in second spot above the curve. Just in behind them in third is Ross Carberry, and they're being chased by Curragh, who's next, and then towards the outside is Insinuendo. Goldana, who was first out, is now slotted in to be behind the mid-division part of the race. Never Ending Story is next in front of Via Sistina, and a couple of lengths to Stay Alert, who was the last one out the gate. So they're inside the mile pole, and it's Trevenance who leads as they race towards the 7 from above the curve, and Ryan Moore, who's just up on the outside. Down the inside tracking Trevenance, that's Ross Carberry, with Curragh the Guineas third next. Then the white cap just outside of Insinuendo, who was fourth in this race in 2021, towards the outside of Never Ending Story in the pink jacket. Goldana down the inside, and then comes Via Sistina, who was a Group 2 winner at Newmarket last time. The Mount of Jamie Spencer. Last of all is Stay Alert, and Ronan Whelan for Hughie Morrison. So the race over the brow of the hill and begin to descend now down towards the straight. Trevenance with the advantage for Shane Foley on his return to action above the curve for Ryan Moore, who's won in his last 6 rides, heading for a straight 7 here. Behind them on the inside is Ross Carberry for Billy Lee and Paddy Toomey, who won it last year. Just outside this one is Curragh and Rory Cleary. They're the leading 4. Line of 3 behind them is Sinuendo and Goldana, with inside these, in between these, Never Ending Story, and they're being followed into the straight by Via Sistina, and Stay Alert is last of all. So now they begin to straighten up now and head towards home, and above the curve is trying to just loom up on terms with the long-time leader Trevenance. Now Ross Carberry is just behind them in third, then Never Ending Story. Goldana's trying to look for Rue. Via Sistina is trying to come with her run now on the outside. Stay Alert making a little ground on the inside, but above the curve holds the advantage from Trevenance, who's dropping back. Via Sistina is coming strongly now on the outside of it, staying on Stay Alert. Ross Carberry runs right out of room. Via Sistina has got to the front, and it's Via Sistina who leads and goes clear from a saying on Stay Alert. They were last and second last. They're first and second now. Via Sistina for George Boughey, and Jamie Spencer has won it from Stay Alert in second. Back in third is above the curve. Trevenance was next with Ross Carberry, and then comes Goldana, and they're being followed in by Never Ending Story. Next up was Insinuendo, and the final one to go by was Curragh. That will be a very, very interesting head-on. It was Via Sistina, the daughter of Fastnet Rock, and she pulled up very quickly. Her ears were pricked. She's clearly quite a stary filly when she gets to the front, but she did quite an amount of damage. A luckless race for Ross Carberry last year and again this year. Via Sistina's won by a wide enough margin. If you've backed her, I think you'll be collecting, but it'll be an interesting head-on for Jamie Spencer to watch back, certainly.
Yeah, there's no question that she came across, but I mean the winning margin was so pronounced that you'd have to struggle to think the stewards will overturn anything. Here we see it again head on. What do you think, guys?
Jamie's he's sticking his right hand, and he has a good hold of his left hand rein. He knows the filly's leaning left, but she starts, it's dramatic. It's also above the curve coming off the rail as well, and Emmett.
Above the curve has moved as we look at it there, fractionally to her right. I think the main drift, and Jamie's even come further there again, the main drift is from Jamie to the outside over towards the inside. Definitely the chief sufferer was Ross Carberry, but also in the middle Stay Alert was, look, she's probably been beaten far enough into second, but she did not get a clean.
You see the outside horse comes in, but also the navy colours as well. So both Stay Alert and Ross Carberry are ham in the sandwich. Yeah. Look, Ross Carberry's race is run at that stage. He has no chance. Very lucky to not end up on the floor. Jamie had his stick in his right hand, and he had a tight rein of his left hand rein, but she is leaning from a very long way up before the interference even happens.
Yeah, I'm not so sure that Jamie could have done a whole pile, like you said. Tight hold of his left rein and stick in his right hand. You can't do much more from a jockey's point of view. I'd say this ground is as quick as she wants, and she's probably just lugging a little bit right on it, and she's just, when she's gone to Billy's outside, she's leaned over on top of him. Ronan Whelan will feel aggrieved that he was coming with what he's going to say was a winning run. I can only imagine when he goes into the steward's room.
It's not a winning run.
I would argue that Jamie Spencer wins it by far enough, and it was idling. Yeah. There's absolutely no danger, but I'm only saying that the second jockey will go in, I can only imagine, and plead his case. They will
Perry Mason wouldn't win that argument.
They will feel somewhat aggrieved, but I think the winner is a justified winner.
This will be another good angle. Look, you can see Ross Carberry is in the gap. Stay Alert is going for room between above the curve and Ross Carberry. Pink and blue colours on the outside, tighten everything up, as does the navy. And it's a combination of both, but more sustained from via Sistina. Rosscarbery does well to not end up on the floor. And the fact that Staylor finishes second and hitting the line running, I know she gets beaten by a comprehensive margin, but they will feel very annoyed by that.
Rosscarbery will hope Paddy Toomey never runs her in the Pretty Polly again. She said some bad luck.
Zero luck in this race, but look, there you go. That is horse racing. The winner was very, very impressive and well worth the trip. First time since 2018. Urban Fox and William Haggis. Katie Walsh on board Chacun Pour Soi is standing by to interview Jamie Spencer.
Jamie, well done. She's a fine mare, isn't she? 5 years of age now, sluiced up in Newmarket the last day. She's certainly a mare that's on the up.
Yeah, and look, I was very concerned the way the track was playing today, and even last night, that it was suiting horses on the pace. I had a plan to jump smartly, get up behind Ryan third or fourth, and after going, she didn't jump, and my first thing was get out, don't get stuck down the fence. And kind of was on about plan E at that stage, and because everything I didn't want to do off the top of the hill, I wanted to come out, give her loads of room, but there was a couple of struggling, so I had to go back in and just, if I'd known the way she was going to accelerate, I probably rode her more confidence.
But that's the kind of race you like to ride, though, in fairness. You do like to, I know you went to plan E and it might have been the initial plan, but you're very good from behind, all the same.
Yeah, look, she loves soft ground, and look, with that wind it's drying out, everything was happening a bit quick off the top of the hill, but just when I got inside the four, she grabbed hold of a bit and said, okay, we're in business now, and just getting her out to the outside. She was leaning in a bit early in the straight, and obviously halfway down the straight, but she was much the best on. You had to give her one flick and she'd her ears pricked the last furlong.
Absolutely. She wins by 2.5 lengths, and she's a fine big unit. I mean, you can see why you wouldn't want to be going poking down anyone's head.
Yeah, look, Stephen Hillen bought her himself, so well done to him.
And a friend of yours, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. Stephen Becky, great friends of mine. I don't really ride for the trainer, but obviously Stephen Becky on it, so yeah, it's great for the Boughey team as well.
Great to ride a winner here back in the Curragh. When's the last time you had a winner back in a Group 1 winner back in the Curragh?
Phoenix in Spain. Yeah, it's a few years, but yeah, look, it's a good day.
Nice to be back, and nice to ride a winner for friends.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jamie, well done.
Thanks, Katie. Thank you.
She's a big mare because she's nearly 16 too, isn't she?
Yeah, look, very impressive. Like the progression of this filly. 5 years of age now, as we said, originally rated 97, then a Group 3, Group 2, and now the Pretty Polly Stakes here at the Curragh. And you know, she doesn't really have a ceiling. That was hugely impressive.
It was, and she was only $5,000 of a purchase from Tatterstalls.
Really?
And I can see why, because everybody probably saw her as a young horse, thought she's going to take too much time, and they're not willing to give her that much time, and she won't be any good till she's a 5-year-old. Well, now she's a 5-year-old. She's after winning a race worth $300,000. It's a good investment.
Quick happy birthday to that man, Pat Healy, holding the camera, who turned 69 years of age yesterday. Would you believe that? Would you?
I thought he was 21.
He looks well for it. Happy birthday, Pat. But yeah, the main man of a photographer and connection smiles all around. But as you said, 5,000 just goes to show you.
Yeah, look, you know, when you come to the top races, you think it'll take millions, and it is nice every now and again when one of these breaks through. But it was an eventful race. I feel for Billy Lee, because from coming down the hill, Emmett, he was angling off the rail. He was saying, okay, I'm going to follow Ryan through in the slipstream. I'm not going to get caught behind Trevenants. He does everything right, and then something down his outside mows him down.
I know, and she's not a filly with a big turn of foot either, Rosscarbery. She needs that length of the straight, especially over a mile and a quarter. She obviously stays further, and she needs that clear run all the way to the line, and she was obviously badly impeded again today.
Okay, I think we go down to Brian. Let's go to Brian. No, we're not.
We want to get another look at this head on. It might be a little bit repetitive, but for anybody at home who's trying to see what jockeys can or cannot do, Jamie Spencer on the outside, he's got a good hold of her head. She's leaning a little bit to her right before he ever uses his stick in his right hand, and then it gets more pronounced. Should he, Emmett, after the first drift, put his stick down?
Yes, I'm just looking at Ryan there as well. I mean, Ryan had his stick in his right hand and he drifted left. He has caused a certain amount of interference as well. I think when Jamie Spencer goes in, he has a stronger case for saying he did absolutely everything in his power. Ryan with his stick in his right hand mightn't have quite as strong a case, and it was definitely between the two of them that they caused interference, albeit that Jamie's filly was the chief culprit. Jesus Christ, poor Ross Garbury's brought to a complete standstill. You have to feel sorry.
You will say that the stewards will have a word with Ryan as well, as you say. It just goes to show, as good as you are, some of these horses, they can make manoeuvres at split seconds, but he actually keeps his stick in his right hand despite her movement.
Okay, I think now we can go to Brian.
With a real shrewd judge, Stephen Hillen, Bloodstock Supremo, that must have given you immense pleasure.
Yeah, it doesn't happen like that very often. Just hope she's going to be all right in there. If it was in England, I'd say she'd be fine. She won 2 lengths. So,
what was Jamie saying to you? Like, has she a tendency to go?
No, I just think that's probably as fast a ground as she wants to run on. And he said they went really quick. And he said he missed the break. He was a bit far out of the ground. But she's that big. She wears a rug for stalls entry. And when you wear a rug, they're always a bit slow away. So, he was a bit further back than he wanted to be. But he just said that, when she comes good, he said she's just much better on him.
Take us through the story for Irish viewers, because you go to all the sales. What attracted you to this filly, and why did she only cost $5,000?
Well, she was a foal share, and she wasn't protected. So basically, I think she went in with no reserve. I'd seen her a couple of times, and she had great action, but looked like she'd be nearly 17 hands. She looked pretty backward. You sort of needed a fair bit of imagination, because she just looked like she needed a long time. She was either going to be good or very slow.
But her dam is a half sister to a Group 1 sprinter, Kingsgate native.
Yeah. And the cross, that's why I really looked at her in the first place, because I think that's now 5 Group 1 winners from that cross, and it's like...
Isn't that Rock over Gala?
Yeah, I think it's like 10% Group 1 winners. So,
incredible.
Yeah, it's a good start. So it wasn't like... I wasn't really doing anything smart, but listen, I was obviously going to give a lot more than $5,000 for her, but it's just one of those things. There was no one else there.
Well, she's on an upward curve, this lady.
She is, yeah. So I'd say she's very versatile. I think she can go a mile to a mile and a half. So
it's into the secret. She's hopefully going to keep it. Where does she go from here?
Well, she likes going in a straight line as well. So, she could go to the Falmouth Stakes at Newmarket in 13 days' time. Or after that, in Nassau. She'll be in most of the big races. She's in the Yorkshire Oaks. She's in the International at York. So, but you wouldn't be risking her on anything with firm in it.
Would she stay in training, or would she be in the December sales, knowing Mr. Hill, and you like turning them over?
Oh, I don't know. I think my wife's fairly attached to this one.
This one might be for keeps.
Maybe, yeah.
Best of luck.
Thank you. Cheers.
And why not? Incredible progression really over the last few races, and now a pretty Polly Stakes winner at 6-4, favourite ridden by Jamie Spencer. Stay Alert at 25-1 was in second, and above the curve for Joseph O'Brien Riding Moore was third at 16-5. Okay, we have a break to take. Stay with us. We're back after these.